and advice for our business. And Joe, would you like to open us up in prayer?
Sure. Absolutely, yes. Father, we thank you for this day, Lord. We ask that today your hand would be upon each and every one of these agents here, Father. I pray a blessing on them and everywhere they set their foot. Lord, I thank you, and everything that they put their hand to would prosper. Give them wisdom. I thank you, Lord, that you would surround each one of them with favor as a shield. And I thank you that every one of them are blessed, their families are blessed, protected, and healthy. And we thank you, Lord, for the time we have in this session today. Lord, I thank you for wisdom. I thank you that even as I'm speaking, Lord, you'll be speaking to hearts and you'll be enlightening and lighting things to show each person individually on areas that might need some help for themselves, and that you would illuminate revelation to them. And we thank you, Father, for this day. We know that you are on our side and that you want good things for us. And we thank you that goodness and mercy follows us all the days of our lives. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. Well, thank you.
We've had a lot happen since the last time Mr. Cala was in the house, huh? Changes of offices. And
yeah.
In our society, lots of things. So,
yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Joe, for being here for us.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you always.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. So I'm just going to pull this out here just to keep there. Today, we're going to talk about some things I believe will help you. First of all, hello, yellow, right? I mean, this is great. My wife found my shirt, so I can be a part of the hello, yellow as well. And, it's funny, you're talking about this compensation thing, and I want to talk a little bit about this later, but I heard Lisa on the phone. A lot of times Lisa's on the phone, and I'm near her. So I hear her talking to people, and there was an agent who was also requesting a different compensation than what was agreed upon already. And so Lisa was on the phone with the guy, and she just said, she goes, now in regard to the 3%, we're offering this instead. And she said it, and it was just pause, silence, and then like you hear the guy, I heard the guy on the other end go, I wanted more. We were trying to get, and he was like starting to stutter, and she just wouldn't talk. She just kept silent.
Yeah,
and then, and then he goes, okay, all right, okay, that's fine. And then like he just, so he said okay to what was already there. And it's funny because I was just listening to her handle it. She just said it and she paused. And I said, when she hung up, I said, that was great. She goes, what? I said, I don't know if you even realize it, but there's so much power in pausing. And I think that's something that you have to realize, especially when you're talking to people when it comes to negotiations or when it comes to sales types of things and transactions. There is power in the pause. You've got to be able to have silence be your friend. And people are afraid of silence. If it's too quiet, people get nervous. You start hearing breathing, like people are making weird noises, clearing throats, coughing. Like all this stuff happens, right? It's because it's that uncomfortable moment of silence, the sounds of silence. There's like an old song. But the truth is that in everything we do, there has to be a, especially when it comes to those uncomfortable moments of conversation, when somebody's asking for more than what's actually presented, you've got to be confident. You've got to stand your ground, and you've got to be the professional. And you've got to, make sure that you do it in a way that you're not sounding like you are backstepping and scared as well. So with all that being said, I just, hearing that you're dealing with this kind of stuff where it is, people are, obviously I get it. It's, you're doing this not for charity. You're not doing this just because you want to just do it. You're doing it to get paid. And so you try to get as much as you can. But at the end of the day, if it is what it is, you just got to keep moving forward, right? And I think the thing I love about what Monica said is she did it right for the client, the seller, right? She did what was right for the seller. And there's not every agent out there is not like that. Not every agent wants what's right for the seller. They want what's right for them. And many times that could, yes, you can win and get the thing that you pushed and bullied for. But is that, at the end of the day, is that really going to make a long-term good difference for your business? I mean, maybe at first it might, but long term it might shoot you in the foot. Because you remember people, anybody ever talk to an agent that you're like, oh my God, this agent, I don't ever want to deal with this agent again on the other side. Anyone?
Every day.
Yeah. I mean, and it's not, all agents are not created equal. They're not, because not all agents have the same work ethic. Not all agents have the same mindset. Not all agents have the same skill set. Not all agents have the same broker in charge. Not all agents have the same manager activities that happen in between deals and transactions. Not all agents have the same uh, availability to get trained or put themselves in a position to get trained so that they can learn and get better, because they think that it's just, just show up and it's all glamour, and they want to stand on top of the podium and they want to get the medal and they want to get the trophy, but they don't want to put the work in. So I say all this to say this is different. Weichert is different. This place is different. And again, I see it hands on with my wife and with everybody here, and being exposed to everybody. I see it where not all the agents are the same. And so you have set yourselves apart as the elite. You've set yourselves apart as people who bring a different experience. When somebody sees the yellow, it is different, right? It's like, oh, hello, yellow. Like, Randy saw me and she goes, oh, hello, yellow. And that's the kind of reaction that people should have when they see Weichert. Oh, hello. Like, it's a positive smile. Like, when you think, growing up, there was like these commercials, but there was this like yellow face, smiley face on this commercial. I forget what the commercial was, but I just remember a yellow smiley face, and it made me smile. Like, so yellow, like it's the sun. It's like positive. It's all these different energetic. There's all these different things that come with the yellow, right? And so you want to let that be when every conversation you have, or anytime you hear the word Weichert, or somebody sees your sign or sees your name, there should be a positive reaction, not a, I don't ever want to deal with that agent again, right? And again, obviously, if you're learning and you're getting started, you're going to maybe make some mistakes and maybe forget some things, and it's all growing opportunities, right? So and that's what we're here for. And I think that's one of the best things that, obviously, the more you put yourself in a position to experience difficult moments or challenging experiences, the more you grow. It's like working out. When you put resistance on a muscle, that's when the muscle grows. The muscle doesn't grow from just doing 5-pound dumbbells. When just going in and just doing 5-pound dumbbells, 10 reps and then putting it down, or 2-pound dumbbells. No, if 20 pounds puts resistance and you can get out 10 with 20 pounds barely, then that means you're putting resistance on your muscle for it to grow again and get stronger, right? So as much as I like the easy stuff too, the challenging things, it's important. The challenging deals, the deals that are difficult, the deals that sometimes are the biggest headache and sometimes are the ones that we don't want, are the things we need. Why? Because it sharpens our skill set, our ability to handle those things, and to create depth on when situations arise next time. Our response is very calm because we understand it's just part of the process sometimes. And sometimes this does happen and it looks like that. And you're the calming voice to the storm that's happening in your buyer or seller. They're all emotional. They're all banged up. They're all excited. They're all mad. They're all offended. They're all these other things. And you have to be that calm, right? You have to be the calm, so again, that all comes from allowing yourself to grow, learn, listen, be a part of those types of situations. Pressure is a privilege. You have to think of it like that. Pressure isn't always a bad thing. It's a privilege. If you ever, watched any, high level athletes, y'all just had access to coach from Coastal and some people that play for the team there. You heard people in positions that are at high levels, and they welcome pressure. And it's the ones who, in that pressure, those pressure moments, those are the ones, they've allowed themselves to perform under pressure. They put themselves in positions to be pressured and then learn how to perform in that pressure. That's the kind of person you want on your team. You know, I look at my daughter Sophia, and she's the kind of person where when she's on the court playing volleyball, there's times where it's very, very close, or there's pressure, and there's like 3 points, and it's like, you know, if either I've seen her come in at like the other team having 24 and us having 22, and she's got to serve, and I feel good that she's serving because she handles the pressure. She goes back and she just does it. You ever hear people say that, man, they got ice in their veins, right? In other words, like, it don't matter how hot it gets, the pressure, they just stay cool throughout the whole thing and they just keep performing. And you have to put yourself in a position to where you understand that when pressure comes, that you have to learn how to let your nerves stay calm. Don't get crazy to let them elevate to the point where you just can't function. There's some people, that's what they do. Like, you don't see that, but that's what's happening inside. They're like, oh, I can't. I don't understand. I'm not sure how we're gonna get through this. Like, I mean, like, that's what happens. They get like, they can't talk. They can't function. They're flustered. Everything's messed up. Their hair is a mess. I mean, everything's just crazy. It looks like, they just went through, like Chris Farley, when he comes out, he's like, he's got his hair all messed up, and like, that's what people sometimes let themselves be, and they think that that's okay, when in reality it's not. I get it. Sometimes that stuff happens, but we have to learn how to operate under pressure, right? I always say pressure can do one of two things. It's how you position yourself. Pressure is going to come no matter what. Pressure in life will come, but it's how you position yourself in order for that pressure to do one of two things. If you position yourself under the pressure, what's going to happen? The pressure is going to do what? It's going to smash you. It's going to crush you. But if you position yourself above the pressure, what can the pressure do? It can lift you. So pressure is going to come. I always say this too. When pressure comes, it can either push you further from God or closer to God. It's where you position yourself to allow yourself to be. You can let yourself be pushed further from God and then into panic and into stress and into all these other things, or you can allow it to push you closer in. So what I want you to understand is, moving forward, allow yourself to welcome the pressure, welcome the challenge, welcome that you have people who are seasoned here, who have gone through some stuff, who can help you in the storm and be the calm, so that you're the calm for that buyer and you're the calm for that seller. Jesus was sleeping on a boat, the Bible says, where he was sleeping on the boat with his disciples, and they were trying to get from one side to the other, and they were freaking out. Man, we're going to die. We're going to perish. Lord, you don't even care. You're sleeping. Right? And he got up and stilled the storm. He spoke to the waves and to the sea and to the wind, and he calmed it. And immediately they were on the other side. You've got to be that calm. Are y'all with me? So we're talking about, that was all free. That was not on my notes, but so and that's what we always rely upon, the Spirit of God, to be able to pull out the things. And let me just tell you this: when I stand in front of people, people don't realize it, but you determine what comes out of the speaker, the audience. As a speaker and speaking in front of people in many different venues, the type of expectation you bring to a meeting of some sort determines what gets pulled out of the meeting. And what I mean by that is, when you're present, you pull from, and the people don't realize this many times, but because we're a three-part being, we're spirit, soul, and body. And what happens is many times the spirit and the soul, with the knowledge that you want and that you want to devour and that you're hungry and thirsty for, is pulled from that person without even realizing it. There's times where I'll talk about things that have nothing to do with anything that I was supposed to talk about, because there's people that need it. And so I just want you to understand that. Show up to every meeting, show up to every event with an expectation to draw and pull from the speaker. because there's things inside of everyone that's in there. There's things that have been deposited within me that I haven't talked about in years that will come out, and all of a sudden I'm like, I haven't thought about that in 10, 15 years. So, and again, it's the same thing with you. The things that you hear and listen and listen to gets deposited into you, and it's not always just for you. It could be for someone else that you need to give to them. And who knows, maybe it's today, tomorrow, next week, next year, 10 years from now. So come with an expectation always to learn and always to draw out the best and the most from somebody who's sitting in front of you. Regardless of who it is, you can learn something from everyone. And not only that, it could be something I say that all of a sudden triggers something else that makes you think something, and then you have an idea, and that light bulb turns on. You with me? All right. So we're going from hello to yellow, all right? So, hello yellow is the thing we were talking about it just this past week. Hello yellow, and then that's what came to me. Hello yellow, going from hello to yellow. In other words, hello is the beginning and yellow is the point of sale, right? So we want to get, and again, I understand there's the yellow brick road all the way through, right? There's that path that we want to travel that's all built on that process, the Weichert process. But what we want to do is we want to start with the hello and make our way all the way through to the yellow. So hello is the first impression. With every hello is the start of that relationship. I said hello to you. I said hello to you. People that I've never met before, I said hello. It started a relationship. There's a start to the relationship with hello. Whether it's in person, whether it's online, whether it's on the phone through a text message, we need to treat every greeting with the intention of getting to know about the client. It's all about knowing about the person. It's all about connecting to them because the hello is to get to know. That's the reason. You say hello so you can get to know. Okay? Know them. You want to know the person you're talking to. Tell me about yourself. Because you get these leads sometimes, and now you got to just start. That's so weird. It's like I gotta call them, and they're like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna talk to 6 different agents, and you're first. So go. You know what I mean? Like, so now you're like, okay, great, here we go. Now I gotta like try to win you over. I saw this thing where a guy was like, and I'm gonna talk about it in a minute, but he had like a cube, and he'd hand it to the person and say, okay, go take it. Now tell me why I should buy from you. No, I'm not. Don't say that now, right? But I'm just saying. Like then he would go to the next person. Now tell me why I should buy to you. And every time he handed it to somebody, he was asking them to tell me why I should buy from you. What do you sell? And so what happens is you are trying to make a sale. You're trying to make a difference. You're trying to create either a buyer or a seller in that interaction, and you got to win them over. So the goal of hello is not just to make a sale. It's to build a relationship. You have to understand that first, because what happens is because we are doing this to make sales. And I was even talking to Lisa about this recently, and I was saying, sometimes what happens is people, the only reason why they haven't succeeded yet is because they're not in it long enough yet. In other words, success, it does happen early, but it takes a little bit of time to develop. And sometimes when you're trying to get into a business like this, you want to be able to come in today and then have a paycheck tomorrow. When in reality, and what happens is some people's lifestyles don't allow and afford for that to happen. If they don't have the ability to sustain behind them with something else that can give them some stability and paychecks to keep them going, they quit because they weren't able to stay long enough. Because if you stay long enough in doing it the right way, you get success. I remember Deb, you said in the beginning of the year, you were like doing all this stuff. I remember one of the meetings, I'm doing all this stuff, I got nothing. I'm doing all this stuff, I got nothing. And then like a month later, boom, sale, another one, boom. And then all of a sudden the momentum starts kicking. Why? Because what happens is time is on our side when sometimes we feel like time is against us. But the reality is we understand that the value of seed planting, watering, and then harvesting. And so we've got to be able to understand the value of building that relationship, knowing that You have got to slow down when the customer is trying to speed you up. And what I mean by that is take the time to not be the same as everybody else who's trying to just win the sale, when in reality, you're going to break through and now you're going to make a connection and they're going to be like, I'm choosing you. You're the one. You know how many times I've heard Lisa tell me, and again, I'm sorry I use Lisa all the time. She's just my wife. So I have to, I'm with her all the time and I hear all the things that happen. But, I would use you if I was hanging around some of y'all a bit more. But I use her because I'm always with her. But I would hear her so many times tell me that the person said, I'm coming. They're like, look, we don't have a realtor. We're not using anybody yet. We're not this, we're not that. And the next thing you know, she's like, they just called and said they want me. I'm the one. I'm like, I love that, because she won them over by not trying to sell them, but by getting to know them. So you've got to, the hello, again, hello yellow, the hello or the hello, right? That is the interaction that creates the connection. And you want it to be a strong connection. You want that connection to be so powerful that there's nobody else that's going to be able to say, yes, I want to use them, because you've connected so strongly that there's no other. You're the obvious choice. There's no other choice. So that's what you want to be. So get to know them. Hello is the first impression. Hello is the get to know, and hello is getting to connect. Okay, tell me about yourself. Where do you live now? What's important to you? What's your goal? What are you trying to accomplish? Format. We talk about format, right? What's the format? Friends and family. Get to know about them. Occupation, recreation, motivation. Do they have animals? Do they have dogs, cats, goats, fish, whatever, gerbils, whatever they have? T for teams, football, right now. You got baseball, you got sports, whatever sport it is. Football is a big one right now, between college and also, NFL, fantasy football. I mean, there's all these things you can use to create connection. Because once you get people talking about themselves, then they become open enough to want to just spill the beans. I think Christy Atkins posted on the group the other day something about being in between being like a therapist, we get to try to sell houses too, or something like that. As what's a real estate agent? It's like in between being a therapist of some sort. You get to show properties, and it's the truth. You're constantly connecting, talking. Once they start telling you about personal items, you won. You won, because you just literally, I mean, it's a good thing, because you've allowed them to feel so comfortable that they can share this with you. And sometimes you wish they didn't tell you some of the stuff. Like, I wish I did not know that. Okay, now we're getting weird. Now it's into, okay, now we've gotten to that point where it's like, all right, yeah, TMI, exactly. So again, hello, first impression, it's a great opportunity. You've got to slow it down, get to know them, figure out ways to connect. Smile, if it's in person, smile, bring energy, make eye contact, have good posture, right? Make sure that you're bringing a certain, you are showing up with everything that you can to be able to win them over.
And they say you can do that when you're on the phone.
Yes.
Smile when you're on the phone, to make you can stand up or have your posture right when you're talking on the phone.
You're 100% right.
Through the phone call.
You're 100% right. And that's, smiling and dialing, right? Standing up makes you more energetic. It makes your energy higher, right? Because when you're sitting on a chair, sometimes you can be slouching down. You can be, you're low energy, right? So, but when you stand up, it puts you in a position to where you bring a different feel. And people decide within seconds if they're going to use you or want to do business with you. And a lot of times it's based off of the way you look, if it's in person. And it could be based off of how you sound, right? If it's on the phone. So energy and presence, and you can bring a presence on the phone too. You've got to be able to bring a strong presence on the phone as well as in person, as well as body language, how you interact, how you look, how you smell, okay?
That's a big one.
Yep. It's the truth. I mean, like if you got to put a mint in the mouth or 5, whatever you got to do, right? Cologne, perfume, spray, whatever it is, you want to bring a presence with you when you're in person, right? Your confidence level, your aura, as my daughters would say, my son, like you got that aura, right? You got to have that aura that you bring so that you're bringing with you something that can be positive in interaction. Um, and even in your emails or text messages, people don't realize it, but grammar is important. So you gotta, if you're sending everything all lowercase, no periods or exclamation points or any question marks or nothing like that. Like my kids even talk in grammar. My daughter's like, "What? Question mark?" She says question mark. Like I'm like, yeah, right? Don't. Yeah. Like there. Like you got to get the right. Yeah. Yeah. And you do a voice dictation. Look, do me a favor. Period. Yeah, or question mark, dude. So, but again, it's grammar that matters because if you're saying, I remember I had a salesperson one time send a text and it was like, "Hey, how are the letter R and then you, the letter U." I'm like, you can't send that to a customer. Like, you're not talking to your friend or your wife or your whoever. You have to be more grammar aware, right? So use and leverage like ChatGPT or some sort of AI or some sort of Google your sentence before you send it. You know, let yourself look at it multiple times, and then and just say I do it a lot with like if I'm sending a text or doing something that I'm writing out, I'll put it in ChatGPT and say check for grammar and is there a better way to say this? It's my thoughts, but is there a better way to say it? And then it'll say it a different way. I'm like, oh, I like that. And then I'll change it and I'll adjust it. I'm like, put this here, take that out, and then and I'll put it there and then I'll send it. You know what I mean? So let yourself do that because it makes a difference. Again, you're making an impression, right? You're trying to get a good first impression. You're trying to get that hello. We're at the hello here. We're at the introduction here. We're at the handshake here. Like even that, the way you shake a hand, the way you reach out, the way that you position yourself, in all of that. I mean, if you're shaking a hand, you don't want to like, hey, how are you? Hi. You're holding it like this, and floppy hand. No, you don't want to floppy hand it. You want to have at least some substance to it. Like I'll grab the hand, and many times what I'll do, give me your hand. Okay, I can do this to my wife, so it's weird. So like I'm like this. I'll turn it this way. I'll give them dominance on my handshake. It's like just by the position of the hand, or sometimes I'll even when I say, "Hey, how you doing?" I'll go like this, and I'll do the old hand like that, depending on who it is. You know what I mean? Hey, what's going on? And what's going on? All right, nice to meet you. I'm Joe, and then I'm holding. Sometimes like I'm like feeling like her pulse. I have the finger there. Like there's a lot of different things. Like the handshake can determine a lot. So what happens is you see some people when they handshake they pull. Like there's like dominance in that. They're like hey, how you doing? Good to see you. And they're trying to let their presence be known, right? So you've got to understand just in everything like that, it doesn't sound like it's anything, but it does matter. People walk away, and how many times I've walked away and we've gotten in the car or we've gotten somewhere and like, did you shake their hand? Yeah. Did you see the way they shook their hand? Like we talk like, you know what I mean? Like because why? Because that matters. It's presence. So you've got to in every introduction, you've got to bring that presence and awareness of that, right? It all matters.
I'm gonna add with the whole handshake thing. Some of you know this, some of you don't. That's why you always want to wear your name tag on your right, like when you're looking down on your right lapel. For men it says they have pockets, a lot of times you want to put it over the pocket. You want to wear it on the right side because that's how you shake your hand. So you're coming forward with your name in your hand to shake. So always remember when you're going to put the name tag on, put it on your when you're looking at on your right side. It'll be to the left of the person, but to the right, you're right. So,
Where's my?
yeah, you got it where you're supposed to.
Yeah.
But that's part of the reason is because when you shake hands, your name's coming forward.
Yeah, it's good. So, and again, with all that being said, just have that awareness. Keep yourself aware of the reality that that handshake, that hello, everything makes a difference. The eye contact, the posture. I tell my daughter and my daughters, but when they stand, like, this is like, I don't know if this is like a generational thing. I see girls like this, they stand. And Jaylee, she coaches now, so we were looking at, she was coaching, and she was doing something. My other daughter was sitting near her, and I looked at her and I said, Sophia, come, Jay, put your shoulders back. Like, I'm like trying to like, so she's like, Jaylee, Dad said put your shoulders back. Yeah. I'm like,
at least it wasn't
yeah. Yeah. She's like, Dad said put your shoulders back. So, because stand up tall. Like good posture matters, and posture is also many times a reflection of attitude. Look up the word attitude on your phone or whatever, and say what is attitude, and you'll see attitude many times. It says body posture, like the way that you carry yourself, your body posture. It reflects your attitude. Like if I was like walking like this, that my body posture, I look like I'm like a thug attitude, right? You know what I mean? Like the way my posture is. But if you hold yourself, shoulders back, standing tall, chest out, there's a lot to say. And again, it doesn't seem like it really does matter, but it does matter. It makes a difference. Okay. So you want to be answering the question that they have when you talk to them for the first time. And what's that question they're trying to get answered? Should I go with this person or should I go with someone else? That's what they want to know. They're trying to figure out, should I say yes to them or should I look for others? And you want to answer that question through your interaction. From the very hello all the way, we're talking about hello yellow, right? And we're going from hello to hello to yellow. So we want to go from hello to them saying, yes, you're the one. So to get them to say, yes, you're the one, you've got to ask yourself, when it comes to you talking to a client to be, or a customer, why should they choose you? So I want you to think about this. Why choose me as your agent? If I was to go up and just ask you all right now, and go around this room and ask you, Randy, why should I choose you? Well, you don't have to. You don't have to answer that right now.
I know. I was like,
yeah,
I was
right.
About to.
So, and that's good that you were about to. But at the moment, if I was to go around and ask every single person, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to put you on the spot. But I want you to be able to feel like at any moment you could be put on the spot, and it shouldn't be a problem. You should be able to answer why someone should go with you.
Sometimes that question will be asked at the appointment.
Right.
You don't want to be thrown off guard.
100%. So we're gonna talk about this. I want you to take time right this very moment to write down reasons why people should choose you. Now, before you write this down, I'm going to give you some things that I'm going to suggest you think about. Okay? So why choose me as your agent? Why choose me? You should always be answering that question. Why choose me as your agent? And the answer should always benefit them, not you. Are you with me? So when somebody says, why should I choose you? The answer shouldn't be all about you. The answer should be all about what? Them. You should choose me because this is what I will do for you. Are y'all with me? So it's all about understanding that it's putting them first. Why choose me as your agent? Because I'm going to put you first. That's why. Right? I'm going to put your goals ahead of anything. I'm going to put your needs ahead of anything. I'm going to put your timeline ahead of anything. That's what drives every decision, is what you are wanting to see happen. Because there's a reason why you're looking to sell this, and I want that reason to be the thing that gets done. I want to help you accomplish that. I'm going to listen first, then I'm going to act. This isn't about what works for me only. It's about what works for you. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put you first in order for us to be able to make this come together. Because that's what the client wants. The client wants to be taken care of. The client wants to know that they're in good hands and that they're with the right person and they're with the right brokerage, which I'm going to get to later, but the right person first, right? I'm going to put you first. Also, I'm going to have a solution-minded approach. I'm not going to, because there's some people who don't think for solution. They don't think, God bless you. There's some people that aren't solution-minded. There's some people who all they see is a problem. There's agents out there that all they're talking about is problems. The customer says something or the client says something, like, that's a problem. And instead, and that's the response that the agent's given. That's a problem. No, don't be a problem-minded person. Have a solution-minded approach. Buying or selling a home can be stressful. You've got to bring solutions. Your job should be to make it simple, clear, and smooth, even when we understand, difficult, unclear, and rough roads that we're going to travel. I'm going to do everything I can to create and make it as simple as possible, as clear as I can, and as smooth as possible. Right? Just because you're on a rough road doesn't mean you have to feel every bump. It depends on the suspension of your car, right? How good is the suspension? You've got to be a good suspension to them. Does that make sense? You ever drive in one car, you're hitting every bump. You're like, oh my God, what is this car? And then all of a sudden you're on the same road with a different car. You're like, and you're just going right over it. And you're just like, I can barely even feel. I don't even hear the noise outside. Like, this is like, wow, this is a great ride. This is a great ride, right? What kind of ride are you giving them? So when somebody says, why choose me as your agent? Or somebody says, why choose you as my agent? I put you first. I'm solution-minded. And I have a relentless work ethic. I want you to start thinking about these things. And you're going to write these things down as well. Real estate requires grit. It requires perseverance and persistence. You can't just stop at good enough. Jace, why don't you do this for me? That's good enough, Dad. No, dude, it's not good enough. I'm trying to get my kids to live past good enough. Understand everybody else is working for good enough. You should be working for great. And a lot of agents are just doing it to just do enough. And they're doing it because they just want to get it good enough. That's just good enough. If it's good enough for government, it's good enough for me. No. I mean, there's all these things out there, right? You just don't just do it to be good enough. You go until the deal's done and you exceed expectation and you get that customer satisfaction. You satisfy the customer. Have a relentless work ethic. Not everybody is the same when it comes to work ethic. Not everybody puts the same effort in. Not everybody does the same approach. So outwork them. Outwork them. Yeah.
Stuart and I kind of came together, we do listing appointments and, or even open houses and whatnot. Um, we've only ever not got one listing appointment that we went on. I don't know why, I didn't call and ask them why. But you get a feeling, just within a couple of minutes, who they're kind of gravitating towards, and everything. And we know which one to kind of like step back and let take
Yeah.
the lead and everything. Even at open houses, it's the exact same way. And it's easier, I'm not, this might not work for everybody, but it works for us, where they see two people sitting there as a team, and they think, wow, we have two people representing us, and it just we had that automatic connection.
Yeah.
With them, and the biggest thing is we listen. We ask them right from the beginning, what is your motivation here? know that, then you can really hone in on it and, offer the solutions for them. We did go on one listing appointment, and the people aren't going to be able to sell it home. They're underwater and everything. But, I think in the long run that they're going to find out that they're going to have to lose some money to sell it, and they've made a very great connection with it. But it's all about listening and learning and, coming up with solutions and just putting all those pieces of that puzzle together. And with us as a team, like I said, I'm not saying that everybody should do this, but I'm right.
I think teams are great. I think that's a great solution.
Very well for us, and they know right off the bat. I'm on a phone call. Call me. I can't get in touch with me. Stuart's right there, or I will get right back to you right after the emergency.
Well, that's great.
Put 911.
Yeah, I love it.
And it isn't so much. We're more based on getting. It cuts the work down on us also. That we share that, and we can build the houses at two different listings that we both have.
Mm-hmm.
So
There's a lot of benefit. 100%. There is a lot of benefit for team working like that. So I mean, if you're able to get somebody that you can sync up with like that, y'all, I mean, I think it would be a great thing. 100%. And I think, and it goes to my next point as well, and that is when it comes to why choose me. You're trying to sell you, right? You're trying to get them to pick you. Why choose you? Because you have communication that you can count on. You have communication that they can count on. Because not every agent answers their phone the same way. Not every agent responds the same way. Not every agent is responsive or very, I guess, not everybody's able to be, contacted. I mean, I've seen where Lisa's reaching out to certain people. She just can't reach them. I mean, she's trying to get in touch with them. They're just non-responsive. They're not all equal.
And Joey, been mentioning phones. I do want to remind you guys, if you don't have your voicemail set up for people to know who they're calling, you need to make sure you're doing it. Your voicemail needs to say something to the effect of, thank you for calling Monica Riga with Weichert Realtors Southern Coast. I'm sorry I can't take your call right now. Please leave me a message. Your call will be returned before the end of business day today, or something along those lines. A lot of you, if I call you and I get your voicemail, it's either the automated, digital, that's your cell number. There's no identification on your voicemails. If you don't have that, you need to fix that like right now, because that is very important to your business.
Yeah.
You're not always going to be able to answer your phone. And so you want to make sure that you're identifying who you are on your voicemail.
Yes. And it goes back to communication. You want to make sure that the customer, because they're trying to choose you at this point. So you don't want to let them know that you'll never be left wondering what's going on with me. You're never going to be left wondering if there's a time like stamp on something, or there's a time limit that something needs to get done, that, are we going to make it? No, you're going to inform them. You say, look, I'm going to inform you every step of the way. You're going to get text messages, calls, emails, whatever it is that's going to be the best way of communication that you want to be communicated with. You're going to get that from me. Not everybody's the same. Not everybody wants to get calls. Not everyone wants to get text messages all the time. Like, I would even say at times, like, hey, look, as we go through this, there's going to be times like, is there certain times you don't want to be contacted? Are there certain ways that you don't want to be contacted? At certain times, would you prefer a different a method of contact, as opposed to maybe me calling between the hours of, 12 and 5 or 9 and 5? Is it okay to call, or do you prefer text message? You tell me what's the best way of communication. What are you doing when you say that to them? You're telling them that you care about them and that you want to communicate with them as best as you can to keep them involved and aware of what's happening, but also not be annoying, right? Because that could be a big difference maker as well. You also want to let them know that you can provide negotiations that protect your interests. Not every agent is going to be negotiating for the best interest of the client. they're going to be negotiating for the best interest of themselves. I remember a deal that a long time ago, somebody, Lisa was trying to put an offer on something, and the guy said, "There's already an offer on it." And he's like, "So, we're good." Like, she said, "No, I'm sending you the offer, and you're going to present it to your." Oh, yeah, there she goes. Yeah, go ahead. So she's the fire. Here it is. Come on. Yeah.
And he said no. I said, well, then I'm sending you an offer, and you're going to present it to your seller.
Yep.
And let the seller decide.
Right.
Because by law, we're
have to
required
present
to
offer.
offer. Exactly.
Right.
And I won that offer.
She got the deal. But here's the thing. Why would somebody say that to her? Because maybe he's got an offer coming that he's going to get both ends. Maybe he's getting both sides. Maybe he's getting more because that's for best interest of what he has in his mind. But not today, devil. Not with her. So you fight for your people. Negotiation that protects the client's interest. I don't just put deals together. I fight for the best terms for you as the client. Even if it means me getting a little bit less, I'm going to fight for it because it's what you want, right? My focus is on finding a win-win that gets the customer across the finish line. Also, you want to bring out the local expertise that you have. You're an expert. You've got to bring that expert feeling. Like, this is the one. That's who I'm using them. I'm using you. Why? Because you are an expert. You live here, you work here, you know the community, and you tell the story behind the neighborhood. You tell the story behind the school district, the market trends. You make confident decisions for them. You can help them make confident decisions based off of your guidance because of your local knowledge and your expertise. And you're about relationships more than you are transactions. Right? So you want it to be about not just you. You're not just looking for one deal. You're wanting to be their trusted advisor for years to come. You want to be the trusted advisor. You want them to be thinking about real estate, or somebody in their family's thinking about real estate, buying, selling, and they're calling you. Hey, look, I know that you don't live in this area, but I have somebody who's looking to buy or sell. Can you help them out? Yeah. They think of you no matter what. Even if it's not in the same area. They're constantly reaching out to you because they trust you, because they know that you're going to take care of them. So, with that being said, choosing you as an agent should be something that you should be able to articulate. Why choose you? So, take a few moments, and then we're going to wrap this up in just a minute here.
And as you guys are writing this down, I want you to also think about if you need to update your About Me, your bio, within your Weichert system, that will go on your website and everything too. So why should they choose you? Think about that, have some good bullet points.
Yep.
And then that can be part of the About Me within your platform on your My Weichert as well.
Yep. So yeah, take a few moments. You guys can do this. If you want to talk to each other, that's fine too. And then also we're not going to finish this today because this is going a lot longer than I thought I would, because there's just a lot of good stuff here. But we're going to also talk about why should people choose Weichert over another agency. What's the difference that Weichert brings? And I didn't even get into that yet. I'm just talking about you. You've got to be able to know why people should choose you first, and then why they should choose Weichert. Because that's a whole nother story as well, right? Because with Weichert, you get something different than what you would get if you went to somebody who's in EXP or, Keller Williams or wherever else, right? Not that you would bash them, but you would say, okay, look, here's the advantage that we have over some other brokerages out there.
And while you guys are doing that, Joe was mentioning a little while ago about how a lot of times agents will quit right before they're gonna get to where they need to go for whatever it might be, financial reasons or whatever. If you guys have your business cards with you, I know I didn't tell you to bring your business cards, and those of you that were with us at the Revolution thing, Ed Bacchino was passing out these books. I've ordered 4 so far. really want everybody to have this book. If you're a reader, if you're not a reader, then you can get it on whatever. What are the
Audios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is 3 Feet from Gold. It's a great story, and it's basically about people that quit right before they're gonna strike gold, or But this is based on a true story, and behind it is about somebody that they were digging for gold and gave up, and another group came in, and they were only three. They had been doing it for years, digging, and finally gave up. Thought they were never going to hit it. Another group came in, and they only had to dig 3 feet, and then hit the gold. And that's what happens to so many people. They're this close, but then they give up or they quit. So, for any of you that want this book, let me know. If you're a reader, raise your hand, because I need. Okay, and for those, and again, I only have 4, so I'm gonna jot down your names.
Well, we can pass it around too.
Yeah.
But I'll read it in like 2 days.
Yeah, but I'm Okay, for those that want the book, I'm gonna just do this. For those that want the book that I didn't hand it to, raise your hand real quick. Okay, raise your hand if you want the book. You're a reader. I just don't want to sit on your bookshelf and collect dust. Okay, I got your
Over
hands.
here too.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Or you could give us a note, so we'll.
Okay. So I'll order books and I'll have them in a few days for you guys. All right?
All right. So with that being said, guys, just take a few moments, finish writing down a couple things here, and then also write down why should someone go with Weichert over anyone else? Why should someone choose me? And why should someone choose Weichert?
Are you ladies freezing up here?
Yes.
Oh my God.
It feels good up here.
I know, I feel great.
I'm
not sweating. So I know you guys are gonna be.
And you have a jacket on, which means it's frigid in here.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, okay.
I keep trying to pull my skirt.
I was trying to figure out how to make my yellow shirt look professional. All right, I upped it for you.
So with that being said, guys, I'm gonna end me because we're about an hour, and I just got so much I can continue to talk about. But we'll carry it into next month because there's a lot more good stuff here.
Yeah.
But I think that this has been able to lay out some good things that let you guys just take this next time here from here on out to kind of brainstorm together or yourself, or even here's another thing you can do: just put it in Chat GPT, your answers, and say, now what else did I miss that I can add? And if it doesn't fit and you don't like it, just don't use it. So you know what I mean. But there's a lot of good things that you can use whatever you can use to help you articulate why someone should choose you and why someone should choose Weichert. You've got to be able to, that's called your value package proposition. You've got to be able to give that value package proposition to them to let them know why you are the number one reason why they should do what they're doing with you and with this company.
And that's where your confidence comes in too when you're on your appointments.
We have a really nice piece in the
My wife heard in the marketing.
in the marketing stuff, which is a bio, which says get to know, and then you can put your photo, you can put your value proposition, like a couple words, and then your bio, your credentials, any things you've earned. But I print that out and I put it in my folder. If I'm going to meet a buyer for the first time, I put it in their folder. On a buyer consultation, when I go to a listing appointment, I bring that with me. It looks awesome, and it's super cool. And if somebody asks you for your bio, which I had that happen this week, I had it right there to give them. So,
Yeah, and
use that.
And thank you for sharing that. And always know within your My Weichert, when you go to the Weichert University, the marketing tab, they're constantly updating it. They're constantly refreshing it. You can even do your signature line things from that. So be sure you're checking that out on a regular basis. But that's where your information comes from. Also on your main platform, where your headshot is at the top, if you click on it, it opens up and says My Profile. And that's where you put that same information, your profile. Anything you put there is going to be on your website page, on the landing page for the public to see that you're sending to that page. So, Joe, thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So, we had you wear your yellow shirts today. We're gonna do a couple different things, thanks to our Jenny Knight, who we spoke on Monday. So, we are gonna do a shot for everybody, and if you don't have a yellow shirt, we've got one for you. We're gonna do a